Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna just start out by saying Rowie is in her crib right here, just like playing with toys. I don't know how long she'll last. She just woke up from a really good nap, so she's content. But if you hear planes, inevitable. If you hear Rowie and like noises and stuff, inevitable at this point. I figured I would do my best to sit down and film this video. The crinkling. I am currently 35 weeks pregnant, so definitely getting closer to the end of this pregnancy, which has been wild. It has truly flown by. But I figured this would be just like a fun video. As you can see by the title, it is 5 things I will be doing differently for this baby and 5 things I will be doing the same. So exactly kind of like what I did with Rowie last time that I will also be doing again this time. I'm gonna kind of just jump right in. This is gonna be mainly just based off my experience and my opinions, so take it or leave it. I just figured it'd be really interesting to kind of see what someone who has been through labor kind of picked up on, what I really enjoyed and what I probably just won't do again. Also, I'm so out of breath, so I'm sorry if like you can tell because I'm like, I feel like I can't breathe at all right now. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I upload, and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start off with 5 things that I will be doing differently this time. The first one is I will be waiting until 40 weeks to do anything. Cervical exams, a membrane sweep, even considering induction methods. I was so impatient the last time, which understandably a lot of moms get that point, especially closer to 40 weeks. It's like game over, do whatever, get this baby out of me. But after going through a hospital labor situation where I was kind of just pushed into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, I will not be doing that this time as long as I can help it. Little background story with Rowie: I had a cervical check done at 37, 38, 39, and 40 weeks. And I sat at 1 centimeter, 60 to 70% effaced the entire time for that entire month. And I also got 2 membrane sweeps done 38 and 39 weeks. Nothing did a thing for me. The cervical exams did not help. They just made me more mad. The membrane sweeps, my body wasn't ready, so they did literally nothing for me. So it honestly just created more anxiety, more anticipation. I was just getting more frustrated because nothing was working. And it's very common. First-time moms, you are more than likely going to go past 40, 41 weeks. It's something that, you hear over and over again, but then once you go through it, you're like, I don't care, get this baby out of me. And so I think I personally was at that point where I like literally did not care one bit about what was happening. I just wanted the ball to start rolling. And I think in doing that, it really did create a longer, more exhausting labor experience for me. Now, again, if you've heard my birth story before, I'll link it up here with Rowie. Like, a lot of things went great and I'm so glad I had the experience I did. But in the same way, there were a lot of things throughout that hospital induction experience that I really hated and I wish I would have avoided. And I think I could have avoided in a lot of ways. At the end of the day, I'm so glad I did experience that at least once, but again, I'm not planning to do those things again. So I'm waiting till the very end. If, I hit like 40 to 41 weeks and there is still no sign in sight of her coming, I will maybe consider some of those options, but I continue to tell myself from this point on and reminding myself constantly, even though I'm exhausted and I'm ready, that doesn't matter, she'll come when she's ready to come. And overall, it will help make for an easier, smoother delivery process for me. I'll also add that I also chose with Rowie to do Cytotec. So that is another form of induction. As soon as we got to the hospital, we placed 3 doses of Cytotec, and then it went into breaking my water manually, and then it also went into starting Pitocin until my body could do what it could do by itself, and then we took me off Pitocin. So again, I'm not saying any of these are right or wrong. They're totally up to you. My biggest thing is be aware, informed of what your choices and options are. Know what the risks are that are involved when you go into them, and that's what you can do. I knew a lot of the risks for all those induction methods. I didn't know they would be so forcefully forced upon me in that hospital setting. That just created more anxiety and I think stalled my labor a lot more. But again, no shame. You pick what you want to do. I'm glad again that I had the experience to know exactly what I do not want to go back and do. And so that's just that. Number 2, for something I'm doing differently, is I'm bringing a physical copy of my birth plan this time. I know it sounds crazy, you hear that, especially as a doula, like bring your birth plan to the hospital. I am a huge advocate for that, but I think I don't know, I assumed that I would just be able to like give them all of my thoughts and wishes verbally. But the reality is, when you are in labor, there are things you cannot verbally say with all your heightened emotions and all the intensity going on. And so there were a lot of things that kind of just like shoved to the side, or like I had to have my husband there to say like, no, this is what we've desired, whatever. And so that's something I'm doing this time. I have already started writing everything down, and I will be bringing a copy to them. I will be giving it to nurses and the midwives on call, because I think it's super important. I would like them to read it as soon as they see me, and they'll know off the bat what I'm expecting, what I'm hoping for, and then they can also be on my team and help me achieve those things as best as possible. The third thing I'm gonna be doing differently is bringing a rebozo and spoon. So Hunter was amazing at all the counter pressure that he did for hours and hours. Each contraction, as they got more intense, I literally needed him. There was no way around it. But to kind of allow him to rest in a lot of ways, especially earlier on, I plan to bring some form of like a rebozo and a spoon, so where I can also do it myself. It's a great way to kind of let someone else take a rest, and you can actually create that counter pressure for yourself. Next up, I'm gonna be bringing a TENS unit. I've known that this is like one of the tools you can bring. For whatever reason, I just did not think of it when I went in for Rowie. I think it's gonna be a huge help, especially earlier on, like even when I'm at home trying to hang out and go into spontaneous labor. If I'm having some of those earlier kind of more annoying contractions, I think a TENS unit is super, super helpful. And I literally don't know why I didn't think about it before, but I, again, think it'll be great to have around, and that's gonna be something that I will be doing differently this time. The fifth thing is I'm gonna be bringing AirPods. Music is huge. People use music all the time, whether it's very like calming, soothing, affirmation tracks, or like bump and birth music. It can be super helpful in keeping your mind at ease or kind of fixated on something else. And so that's a big one. I don't know why, again, I didn't think about that with Rowie, but I think it will be hugely helpful, especially earlier on and more into active labor. Okay, those are 5 things I'll be doing differently. And the first thing that I will be doing the same is using the Destressor breath. So I will tag Bridget Taylor's video up here that she goes through in depth on how to do this correctly. It is huge. It is the one thing I can think of and remember that I didn't even have to think of the intensity of the contraction, because I was just counting my breaths. Like, it was so helpful. If you are planning unmedicated labor, you need to know how to do this, because it is like game changing for you to be doing it all throughout labor. It was amazing. So that's number 1. That is definitely something I'm gonna be doing this next time. Number 2 is counter pressure. Like I said, Hunter was so great at it. I feel like there is a time in labor where it comes where nothing helps you. You can't do anything for yourself. Little swaying, little movements, little like rocking and rolling, like none of it really helps unless you have something literally pushing against where you feel all the intense pressure and pain. And it will literally help take away the pain. Like, I can't even tell you how great it was to have him there, to know like every time one was coming, he was there ready to give me that counter pressure, whether it's in your hips or your sacrum. They're all amazing, and I will definitely be utilizing them again for this next one. One that I was not anticipating using for Rowie's birth that I will be doing again is using a peanut ball, mainly for resting in labor. I remember I was up a lot, kind of walking the halls, trying to get through these, keep myself moving, and I wasn't progressing super well. And so my midwife actually suggested that I lay down, literally just take a break and put a peanut ball in between my legs, and I literally progressed from a 6, 7 to an 8, and I was into transition. So huge, like truly huge. If you ever like hit a roadblock in labor, you feel like you're not progressing well enough and you kind of are already into that active labor point, a peanut ball can be so amazing for your body, like your hormones, the way that, you know, you get worked up and there's a lot of stress and tension. If you can give your body some space sometimes to just rest, it really can help you progress even further. So that is something I will definitely be utilizing this time around again. Next up is the comb technique. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. If you haven't, I will insert a picture somewhere, but it is amazing. I think it's called the pain gate theory. I might be butchering that. I cannot remember exactly the concept of what it does, but pretty much if you have these like sharp little comb needles going into your hand while you're also going through a contraction, the pain, it's not pain, but you know, the tension, the way that you feel the needles going into your hands here kind of distract your brain from anything else going on in your body. So especially when you're going through intense contractions, it will kind of like minimize that pain that you feel in your stomach or in your back through labor. Okay, the last few things that I'm putting in one category, but they're all preparation agents. So red raspberry leaf tea. I have been drinking a ton of it. It's considered a uterine tonic, so it's really great for toning that uterus as a muscle to get ready for labor. And what it's going to do, it will make your uterus more powerful and strong in getting that baby down and out. And it can also help minimize postpartum hemorrhaging, which is huge, especially in the healing process. The second one is evening primrose oil. You can start doing that towards the very end of your pregnancy. You can insert them vaginally as well as take them orally, or one or the other. The cat. What? The other one is and then the final one is dates to help ripen your cervix. You have to have a lot of dates. It's 6 to 8 dates. I can't get through this. It's 6 to 8 dates depending on the type of date you use, but they can be really good in helping get your cervix ready and nice and soft for labor. So those are the things I will be doing again for labor. I hope this video was helpful and just kind of fun to see what my experience was going in and what I will not be doing again, as well as what I will. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see y'all in the next one.